I know we're recording, but Whitney, it's either feast or famine.
Right. Is the front door still
Yeah.
locked?
Because you were here, that's why. Yeah. Okay, you're over here for you.
Where'd our,
Yeah.
there we go. Okay, guys. It's 6:30, so we shall begin. This is the City of Fairway, Kansas. It is our monthly city council meeting for Monday, March 10th, 2025, 6:30 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I have one announcement. Item number 10 inadvertently got left on from last month's. So we weren't going to have an executive session, and now I've taken it off. We're going to have an executive session tonight. No. That's a typo. Should not be there. Nathan? Yeah, good typo. Nathan, do you have anything? Announcements?
I would just add, for the consent agenda, we did have a couple of non-substantive changes to the minutes, so just FYI.
Okay. All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The monthly reports of the standing committees, Consolidated Fire District Number 2. This is not one of his quarterly meeting dates. So, and we also only get the reports on a quarterly basis, so there is no report this evening. Administration and Finance, Nathan?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll let the report stand as submitted. Just a couple of quick comments. One, regarding the funding agreement. As I mentioned to the governing body earlier, I'm still waiting to hear back from the potential tenant on that, so I don't have any additional update beyond that. The other thing that I would mention is that you probably saw earlier today, we sent out an announcement regarding the Shawnee Indian Mission and potential action on the bill there that is potentially scheduled for Thursday. So we'll just encourage everyone to reach out to the committee members and let them know their feelings about the bill.
Emails and calls are just as important this time as they were
Yeah.
a week ago. I'll speak only for myself, but I'm optimistic. I hope Nathan is too. Our lobbyists are doing a very good job.
Just to clarify, in case a resident asks, that bill is not specifically on the agenda to be taken up, but just procedurally, it can always come up in that sort of catch-all at the end. Is that the way I read the announcement?
Yes, the way you read the announcement, that's correct.
Yeah.
So it may not even come up at all. It's not one of the things that is specifically going to be
Well, I've
voted?
never been through this before, David, so I
Oh.
don't know. Nathan, do you know?
I would say that we were informed that the chair intended to work the bill on Thursday in that section of the meeting. That he intended to bring the bill back up for consideration and potential working during that time.
But not listed specifically.
Yeah, they could
On
bring
the
up any
agenda.
bills or the chair could decide not to address it at all. So it's really, we won't know until it happens.
So are you thinking he might bring it up for a vote, or?
It could potentially be brought up.
Discussion?
It could be.
Yes.
Could be any of the above.
Yes.
Yes.
So there may be amendments that are presented that will be considered on and voted on. But to be clear, the public hearing portion is over. So there would be no public comment for it. This is the committee's work at this point. And then any action that they take, if they were to vote on the bill and it were to pass, then it would go to the floor for consideration.
So even with no public comment, do our
Pardon?
even with no public comment, do our advisors suggest that there be people there from us just to?
Nathan and I will be there.
To be, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
to be seen from our
Right,
perspective.
Nathan and I will be there.
Okay.
But it's not,
Because of the other hearings going on in that committee meeting, it's going to be difficult to tell who's there for what. So, we have facial familiarity
Yeah, they'll recognize
with some of the
us.
committee members, so, and the
Yes, they
chair, so
will.
they would know who we are. But, just having, a room full of people, nobody knows who's there for what hearing or what conversation. Yeah, mine keeps blinking, so I'm not sure it's whatever's happening, it's originating here.
Any other questions for Nathan on admin? Your finance, Nathan?
I will just let the report stand and just mention the sales tax revenues came in above budget for February. And when we look to the March the March Administration and Finance Committee meeting, we'll start to get excited for 2026 budget. So that process will begin soon. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions on finance? All right, police, chief?
Thanks, Mayor. As you guys can see with the report, our activity has been going up. Last month was very busy. We were involved in a number of pursuits. We've identified most of those suspects. There was an incident that has started in Kansas City, Missouri. I may have mentioned it at the last council meeting, talked about it quite a bit, involving carjacking. Individuals took a gentleman's car from a bar just on the Missouri side. Then they went down to a convenience store, waited for another individual to leave, followed him home, and then took his car as well. Both those cars left the area. That was armed carjacking. The vehicle was picked up in Prairie Village with license plate technology. Prairie Village moved into the area. We moved into the area as well. One of the cars fled into Fairway and then ended up being dumped on Wyncote. So the individual in that vehicle got out, ran through the creek, and then we weren't able to locate him. It was a very frigid night. Drones came out, dogs came out, and we were not able to locate that individual. However, we were able to work with Kansas City, Missouri, and figure out who these individuals are. So now charges are pending, and we have people looking for them as we speak. Over the weekend, I know this is going to be reflected on next month's report, but the council needs to be aware of this. There were numerous business burglaries that occurred or have been occurring in Kansas City, Missouri, and over on this side of the state line as well. Westwood has experienced those. Mission experienced those, and then we have experienced those as well with just one, and that was Hen House Pharmacy was burglarized over the weekend. Two individuals entered the store, they broke a window, entered the store and took narcotics and then left very rapidly. We were actually on another burglary call assisting an outside agency when that went down. That call that we were on at the other agency, we don't believe these are related, but they could be. The cash drawer was taken at that business in Mission. That cash drawer was located at the church later on. So bad guys are traveling in and out of the city with some frequency. We're staying on top of it as best we can. Recovered all that stuff. We have DNA evidence. We have turned that over to Mission as well. And then CSI processed the pharmacy. Okay, the next thing is very concerning as well. On how, in the early morning hours, Sunday morning around 5-ish, we believe a single individual pulled onto the street in about the 5900 block and then began shooting. We're not sure where the rounds went. No one was reported hit, or no property was reported as being damaged or anything like that. So there was he pulls over, fires rounds, and then pulls down the street and then fires more rounds, 9mm rounds. We recovered all of those. We also recovered DNA evidence. We could see him on some Ring doorbells, doorbell cams. We have a person of interest. We believe it is probably that individual. that we are actively investigating and in the process of locating. That being said, you know, the council hears me talk about locking doors all the time. So I find this to be concerning to me as the police chief, and also you as the council and the residents, representing the residents. Those shots were fired early morning hours. Our residents heard those shots, but nobody reported them. Mission Hills reported them. Hills cars were moving into the area, not into Fairway, but checking Mission Hills. Today, 3 separate reports from our residents coming in saying they heard shots. So please educate our residents that if something is not right, to please call us. I believe that if within that first series of shots, if someone would have called in, we would have been able to catch that guy because of the amount of time that took place between the first and second series. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'll let the rest of my report stand.
Jerry?
Jerry Williams, Ward 2. The church was very proud because we just installed our new security system, and the alley is covered by the new cameras, so hopefully we were able to help with that. But the cameras cover the parking lots, part of Shawnee Mission, and we store that data. So whenever there's something that, well, you already know, something that you need, we probably have video of it, so
Right,
we want to
thank you.
be good partners.
Thank you.
Any other
Yeah, just-
questions or comments,
yeah,
David?
Just not the most recent things. I was aware of that. I didn't hear it either. Sorry, Chief.
That's okay.
At that hour of the day, I was thankfully asleep. I noticed in your report, there seem to be a lot of hit-and-run accidents. Is that an aberration, or are they on the increase?
It seems like they were on the increase, but we really haven't seen a lot of those lately. The one that stands out the most is that individual that was on PCP that was traveling down Shawnee Mission Parkway, hitting every car and ended up in the creek at Ward Parkway, again with a handgun and the PCP, taken into custody. But other than that, I don't know if there's a trend with the hit and run accidents, but there were more than normal on there.
Anyone else? Thank you, Chief. Public Works, Bill?
Thank you, Mayor. I will also let my report stand as submitted. I'd like to point out that I am declaring winter over officially today with our 70-degree weathers.
Yes.
Well, let's just say Public Works isn't showing up if it snows anymore. We're tired. I'm teasing. We'll, of course, be here. I did, as Lee wanted to know how this winter stacked up, I did include our last 3 years of snow removal totals along with our running total for this year. And this year is a little more expensive than it has been in the past. We can always thank Mother Nature for snowing after hours and on weekends like she likes to do. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone would have.
Questions for Bill? Thank you, Bill.
Welcome.
Parks and Rec. Bryce?
Thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to highlight that our camps, we have 7 spots open left, that the registration opened on the 1st. We did have quite a few Fairway residents enroll. We did a stacked registration system, as I put down in my report this year, so Fairway residents were able to get the first spots, followed by pool members that are non-residents, and then non-residents lastly. So we only have 7 more spots open. We have 79 on the waiting list still, so we have, our camps are being talked about quite a bit. Summer staff, I'm happy to report that we're almost done hiring. And this isn't, in March 10th, this has never happened in the time that I've been here this quickly to have a number that's fairly close. So Renee and Jackson, we have a lot of returners. We even have a Stogsdill or 2 potentially on the roster, and as his kids. And we're only looking for managers and tennis instructors at this point. Everything else is filled. So that's really exciting. And then I'll say more on my March report since she started in March, but we have a new staff member, a part-time staff member at the Shawnee Indian Mission that actually has ancestral ties to the mission. Her ancestors attended the school at the mission. So we're very excited to have her on staff, and I'll have a more full, complete list there. Since she did start in March, I'll leave that for the March report.
Okay, questions for Bryce? Thank you. Okay, monthly reports of the special committees. Tree Board, Bill?
No report.
All right. Public comment for consent agenda items only. I will read those into the record. A, approve minutes of the previous regular city council meeting. B, approve claims and appropriations, ordinance number 1822, February 2025. Approve mayoral appointment of Andrew Shepard as city treasurer. Approve annual engagement letter with Marr & Company for the 2024 financial audit. Approve agreement with Melissa Garrett for program offerings at the Shawnee Indian Mission. Is there anyone in the audience or online who would like to comment on any of the consent agenda items? Hearing none, I'll close that public comment. These items are determined to be routine enough to be acted on in a single motion. However, this does not preclude discussion. If a council member requests, an item may be removed from the consent agenda for further consideration and separate motion. Does anyone have a question or comments about any of the consent agenda items? All right, I'll
Real
enter.
quick, Bryce,
David?
is Melissa who you were talking about,
No.
Nope, she's different.
is a different person? Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Is there a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items A through E.
Second?
Been moved and seconded that we approve consent agenda items A through E. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. New business. We only have one item on new business this evening. Consider Resolution 2025D, a resolution approving CARS 5-year plan 2026 through 2030. Bill?
Thank you, Mayor. In front of the council for consideration is our annual approval of the CARS 5-year plan. By resolution, this is the last little piece of the puzzle that we need to be eligible for up to 50% funding on our CARS projects that are outlined there in the packet. Everything has been reorganized as directed by the Finance Committee, so just need your guys' approval.
Questions or discussion concerning this item? Okay, hearing none, I will open it for public comment. Anyone in the audience or online? Are we still no one, I assume? Okay. I'll entertain a motion, please.
Mayor, I move that we, as a council, move to approve Resolution 2025D, a resolution approving CARS 5-year plan 2026 through 2030.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 2025D. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. All right, next on the agenda is the governing body comment. During this time, members of the governing body will be given the opportunity to speak about matters related to the city. No formal action will be taken during this time. Any comment from the governing body? Lee?
I just have a quick question. I was confused as well. So the new person at the Shawnee Indian Mission is Melissa Garrett?
No,
That's not that person?
no.
Okay.
Melissa Garrett is an individual who we're contracting with to perform as described, her different programs.
Okay.
She is not an employee.
What is the new person's name?
Her name is Mary Grinter. Grinter, not the Grinter House, the Grinter Place. There we go.
Put you on the spot,
Historic
sorry.
site, yeah. Historic site that her family's also tied to on state line. So she's got a huge background in historic sites.
Thank you.
And is anyone familiar with, Melissa is apparently associated with the Wadaloozies? What's that? Sounds interesting.
Melissa has been very active in the mission. Bryce, I should let you talk with her. She testified in Topeka. Her ancestral history is 3 different tribes, I believe.
I think that's right. I know Jennifer obviously would have a little bit more information. They worked closely together at the site, but she is going to be doing a lot of different programs at the site, including some things like how they used to prepare food, what kind of food they used to prepare, and then also how to not let it spoil, making sure that they kept food safe for everybody there. She's going to help out with making trinkets and necklaces and earrings as well, but that doesn't encompass what she's got to offer. She has so much more as well, and has connections to a lot of people that would bring a lot of value to the site through programs and special events.
She's Yeah, she's going to run children's programs, story time. She's been part of the series at the Saturday morning at the mission, and she'll be teaching indigenous games and books and that kind of thing. She's a chef. She has a food truck at the Fall Festival. So she's been active at the mission for some time.
Cool. That's
Yeah. Neat individual. Anything else under public comment? No. Governing body comment. Nope. Okay. Public comment for items not listed on the agenda. Anybody have anything that you came to a great meeting. You've learned something though, I'm sure. Anyone online? Nope. Okay, we'll close public comment and I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Is there a second?
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you, guys. Almost a record.